The untimely death of a Vaishnava is just that, untimely, accidental tragedy, not legal. Not legal. But there are leaders of the disappearance of great Vaishnavas, and the time of their withdrawing from the world is of no minor importance. Prabhupada manifests an intense desire to go to Govardhan Hill before his disappearance. And Puja was coming up, of course, but he wanted to go in a bullock cart. He wanted Lokanath Swami to bring the bullock cart over to Govardhan Park. This was deep inside, and it was thought if he goes, he'll never survive the bullock cart ride. So it didn't happen. But the thing to note wasn't like, oh, he wanted to go to Govardhan, but that wasn't practical, so we didn't do that. It's like, what is the meaning of that? He's within days of leaving this world. And that bob, that desire, it isn't because, gee, I never got to see Govardhan in the last 20 years, like somebody lamenting like, well, I've kind of gone everywhere, but it didn't go to Raul, so if we could go to Raul, that'd be cool. You get that stuff today from all kind of people. Sightseeing. He wasn't like, I need to go on a sightseeing tour. That was his internal bob. And the chapter he's working on is when Brahma had hid the boys in the cow and in the caves, and all this is the cowherd boys in Govardhan. That's what he's translating leading up to his departure. He's practically sitting up in his bed with that desire. We should note that. Similarly, Kartik was non-important in the Hare Krishna movement in the time of Prabhupada. Kartik, nobody came to Kartik. Yeah, you come to Kartik, this is a Christmas marathon. Kartik? Nobody came to Kartik. Nobody worshipped Govardhan even, hardly. A couple of people only. You would have a mound of rice in New York, wherever you were, that was going on Puja Day, but nobody came to Kartik. Only after. So we say that Prabhupada chose his disappearance in the month of Kartik, thus the best till last, bringing us all to Kartik in the last gesture of his Leela, but not in the beginning of it. No one came to Kartik. You just, wherever you were. 2 times, there are only 2 places where all the devotees would come at one time. Gaur Purnima festival is supposed to be a 2-month festival, 1 month in Mayapur, 1 month in Vrindavan. And Prabhupada writes, why? Because while preaching, you become contaminated. It's right there in his books. The preachers, while going out to fight Maya, actually become contaminated by that preaching. And he says, so they should return to Mayapur and Vrindavan, bathing in Ganga and Jamuna, doing kirtan and studying. And he gives a little short thing, 2-month festival every year. Now, who knows? I haven't seen a 2-month festival since I don't know when. So what, but Kartik wasn't in the Janmashtami? Yes. Gaur Purnimas? Yes. Well, that was it. Everything else was secondary, almost no focus. Baladev Purnima, Nityananda Charyadasi, Narasingha Chaturdasi, nothing. Just Gaur Purnima, Janmashtami. Had Prabhupada disappeared in another time, I don't know if we'd all be coming to Kartik. There wouldn't have been a precedence for it. It would have just been another thing the Gaudiya Math does. Kartik saved it. So we say he chose that time of his disappearance. He showed that intensity and his desire to go to Govardhan. And once Haridas Babaji came, Prabhupada was making sound. It must be recorded in somebody's memoirs by now. And he was making sounds, and it worried the devotees. He's making sound. When Babaji came and sat with Prabhupada, he said, no, it's all right. He's entering Krishna Leela. This is ordinary, common. He'll be making such sound. So, just going in a second isn't the way all great Vaishnavas lead. There's a period of their manifest departure, Leela. And it can be very instructive to us. And usually, there's some instruction on the external plane, but really what's of value is the internal. What can be gathered there internally.